working together? What do you think?
How many bombs have you disarmed?
873.
873. You're a wild man, you know that?
I don't see them as genre pieces per se. I see them really all as character studies. So that's how, that's sort of my entry point are these really, in my, kind of provocative characters that deserve to be kind of examined and explored. And so that's the way I look at it. Hurt Locker is about humanity. And it's about friendship and camaraderie in an absolutely hellish environment. And I think that's universal. That's not necessarily gender specific. I'm making a movie about a conflict that's still ongoing. And I think it's important to be as accurate and authentic and factual and reality-based as you possibly can. I feel only the pressure to make movies that I really deeply, deeply care about, and stories about which, that have sort of provocative meanings. So I think that's what motivates me.
What are you doing? There's enough banging there to send us all to Jesus. If I'm gonna die, I want to die comfortable.
You approach it all the same way. In fact, I think there's probably a little bit more rigor that goes into a lower budget because you have to cram a lot more into a smaller economic space. And, certainly shooting in the Middle East, that was pretty interesting, just from an economic and logistical standpoint. I'm fairly choosy. I do, again, I really like material that I deeply care about. In this case, I found the war to be kind of deplorable, and this opportunity to put a magnifying glass on the conflict and kind of unpack it for the general audience. I mean, I felt that it's sort of underreported as a conflict, both in Iraq and Afghanistan, and I think the opportunity to look at this conflict through the eyes of the soldiers, the men on the ground, was a real eye-opener. Even as we're having this conversation, there are men and women in harm's way. And I think it's really valuable to remind people of that.